You ready after? Yeah. Let's wait. Yes. Start at 26. Okay, Rabbi said, let's learn a little bit for a change of pace. Okay. We've been dealing with different items that you're not allowed to use for mercantile purposes. Merchandise. Now, for Maisa, one of the items was a Bechor. So, even though the halacha is that you can't do merchandise with these items that we dealt with, all the different types of categories, there are exceptions to the rule. That if your original intention wasn't for merchandise, it just so happens you have it, and quote unquote you have to get rid of it, you're allowed to sell it. So we're holding in the middle of Mishnah Dalet. And we bring down now. Okay, let's start again the Mishnah. So it says, Lokach b'char l'mishnah b'noyoi l'regel. You bought it because you were going to go ahead and make a party for your son, a wedding. Or you need it for Yom Tif. Afterwards, you see that you had extra. You're allowed to sell it. Now, he adds to this circumstance that Harav v'Harash Kosvu, they write, Shekashikonim b'chol achila, if you acquire this bechor, this eldest born animal for eating, let's say it has a defect, so you can buy it from a kohen. You already said that, and you don't need it. They hold that the Mishnah doesn't mean you're allowed to sell it under all circumstances. They hold, the Rav and the Rash, that you can't sell it for a profit. There's a rule that you have to sell for the same price that you acquired it. You don't have to sell for a loss. And then it's not considered that you did it for speculation purposes. So basically, this is not everybody holds a shita. One hold. I'm showing you. You buy it. You didn't have intention to use it to buy and sell, to flip like they call. You'd say okay. The Rav and the Rash say no. You want to sell it? It's not for us, you can't sell it. But you can't sell it at a profit. Even if you got a half price.
Even if you bought it half price, since you bought a whole ton of them, and you bought it for half price, you can't make money out of it. This is a tisefta in Sheviis that says Ramesayem is din Mishnayos with tisefes, because they add an extra line to our Mishnah, and it says Rebbe made a statement. I say shaloyimka ela b'domov. You can only sell for the same price. And the Mefarshim hold that since this Tosefta is the exact same statement as our Mishnah, even though the Mishnah didn't make this condition, it's not a machlokes tanoim. Our Mishnah, because the price and it could be two different tanoim. And that's how the Rav and the Rash learn. However, not everybody agrees to this.
Sorry, what's Rebbe saying, Tosefta?
that the Tosefta says that even though our Mishnah says that if you don't need to have this bachar because you have extra food and you had no intention to use it to flip, then it's mutal l'moichroi. You can sell it, but you can't sell it at a higher price than you bought it.
That's our Mishnah.
That's not our Mishnah. Our Mishnah doesn't say that. It just says that you can sell it.
Oh, so our Mishnah is for profit and Tosefta for
No, our Mishnah doesn't say. Our Mishnah just says 2 words, mutal l'moichroi, you can sell it. It doesn't say for a profit, it doesn't say, you can interpret it means for a profit. But since in the Tosefta, Rebbe makes a statement on the same words of our Mishnah, that it's with the condition that you can't sell for a profit, it means our Mishnah also means, like the Tosefta, that it's without, not for a profit. Ulam harambam b'Shulchan Aruch lo yiskiros divrei Rebbe. They don't mention it. The Rambam in Hilchos B'chayris and the Shulchan Aruch in Yeridea say, doesn't mention a word about profit, not profit. Umash b'shem soim shaloch mutafila havich b'mechirasai. And you can derive that they hold that since your original intention wasn't to do it for business purposes, like to say to flip, even though afterwards you have to sell it, and you can get someone's desperate to have meat and he's willing to give you double the price, go ahead and sell it for double the price. So what's going to be? According to them, how can they say that the Rambam? The Rambam doesn't make this condition. It's because they hold that it's a machlokes between the Tosefta, the Tana of the Tosefta, and the Tana of the Mishnah. According to our Tana in the Mishnah, it could be bit of Rebbe, or meaning even in Tosefta it's a machlokes. Because when Rebbe said in the Tosefta oimani, he meant to say even though the Tana Kama of the Tosefta holds you can sell it under all circumstances, even for a profit, oimani, Rebbe, even though normally that's not the language what happens. Usually what happens is you say this one says like that, Divrei Chachomim, and then it says Rebbe Yoima. Over here it doesn't say, it just makes a statement, oimani. So therefore they disagree on what exactly the Tosefta means. They hold that you can sell even for a profit, since your original intention wasn't to sell for a profit. Rebbe Chaylik and Rebbe disagrees. And therefore, how does the Rambam and the Shulchan Aruch paskin? Our Mishnah doesn't say a word of Rebbe. So our Mishnah is paskening like the Tana Kama of the Tosefta. Halachic is Stam Mishnah. We know that there's a general rule that the halacha is like a Stam Mishnah. Since our Mishnah says it without a machlokes or anything, we pasken like our Mishnah. The same thing will be like we heard before by Sheviis of Sheviis, that if you buy it and it's left over, or you sell it to a son, that you can sell it. If you bought it for your own personal purposes and it was left over, and now you don't want to be stuck with rotten fruit, the Tanakama Mutlin to Rebbe, also Halachic Tanakama. This is basically how most Achronim learn. Okay. This is the Mishnah Achronim, no? Mr. Rishonim. Okay, continuing on. Sodei chaya v'oifis v'dogim. So let's say you were capturing a chaya, a wild animal, which is like a tzvi, like a deer, for example, is under the classification of a chaya, or oifis, or birds, or fish, and they got stuck in your traps. And they're tmeim, they're minim tmeim, and they were of a species that are tamei. So it wasn't a deer. What would be a wild animal that's not kosher?
A boar.
Huh?
A boar.
What's a boar?
A pig. Wild pig.
A wild pig is a wild chaya?
No, that's not the kind of pig.
I don't know, it's a pig.
Yeah. It'd have to be like
A moose?
yeah, moose.
No.
Okay, I don't know if it's not kosher.
Oh, it has to be
Moose aren't kosher.
A giraffe.
Giraffes are kosher.
Or an elephant.
Elephants are not kosher.
Wild elephants.
A giraffe has it chooses cup.
Yeah.
Split hooves.
Yeah.
Okay.
Moose has toes.
Very good. I don't know. You learn something new every day.
Yeah.
All right.
How do you check?
You don't.
Giraffe. The problem is you have to know which veshet to use, which the kindness you can use.
Huge safe area, actually.
You have a safe area. Okay, good.
Certain vertebrates, the shecking zone on a giraffe is huge.
I'm not eating a giraffe.
You can't because it's an endangered species. But you kill
I'm
it.
not going to any.
Okay, fine. So the halacha is, so basically again, you have here the general rule that since you did not have it for intentions of using it for commercial purposes when you acquired it, it so happens that you would wanted to trap a live animal. And now before we said you can't do business with non-kosher animals, and you caught not a moose. You caught an elephant. So the halacha is mutar l'machir. You can sell it. You can sell it for, even there's no more circuses, but you can sell it to the zoo. Now, the way it's explained is very simple. As we mentioned previously, also lots of minim tmeim bekavona k'dei lischa behem. You're not supposed to capture non-kosher animals intentionally to do business with it, meaning to buy and sell, or not to buy, to catch and sell. If it happened to be happenstance, you spread out your traps. You wanted to catch a deer, and now you caught a non-kosher animal. You can sell it. The reasoning behind this is because that the prohibition of the Torah is only under the circumstances where you did it intentionally to do business with the buying and selling of non-kosher animals. But if it so happens that it came under your jurisdiction, because this is a specific thing that the Torah was matter. Because it says you can sell it to a non-Jew if you have the veil trade and then it says if not, you go ahead and sell it to a guy. So the Torah says you can do it, right? Oh, so that's the head for a shlachtos. When the shlachtos is like you have these shlachtos that sell that buy the animal, and there's different ways of doing it. Some shlachtos don't buy it until after the fact, but it can get very expensive because at the end of the day, these slaughterhouses they own the animal and they let you shecht it, and they know that you have a gem now because let's say it's a glatt kosher animal, so they're not going to give you the same price as if it's questionable. So there are different hashgachas that treat this differently. Some say we're not buying it until we know for a fact it's glatt kosher. We don't want to get into this problem. Others, no, say we're buying it, and then if it's not kosher, we'll sell it to you. Or sometimes, I remember years ago, I went to, when I was learning Hilchos Shchita, I went to a Shlachtois, and there was what you call glak kosher, and then there was another rabbi who gave hashgacha on kosher. And if it wasn't liked by the top grade, they went to the secondary grade, pass it down, and they gave it to him for a price. And if that wasn't good, then they went and they sold it to the non-kosher.
The halal? Halal or straight up trade?
What do you mean halal? No, there was no halal in those days. You're talking about a story 45 years ago. No halal. We're not talking about halal. Most people don't even know what halal is.
Now, if you want to learn shita, you go to the halal place.
Okay. Good. See, these things I don't know. I even remember there was one Rav, big Talmud Chacham, and we were in Newark, New Jersey, by a Shlachtois, and we were asking questions, and he got very, very nervous because he saw that we asked him too many. We were asking too many questions about the bedikas pnim with the lungs, back and forth, and then we were wondering that how did he get to get so many kosher animals? It's like it's statistically impossible. And when they were shechting, so we asked him. So he got very, very nervous and very defensive. And then there was an animal that they rejected. So he came over to us. He said, "This animal's no good," and he started showing us the lungs and it has a circus and this. And afterwards, one of the non-Jewish workers came over to us and said to us, this animal wouldn't have been accepted because according to the USDA, it was a diseased animal, so therefore it wasn't accepted. But we didn't want to chepe him. He was we didn't go argue with him. But again, you have madregas, but this halacha you have to be careful with. You're not allowed to according to Chazal, you want to go ahead and buy and sell and trade in non-kosher animals, let's say in horses, it's problematic. What? Racehorses is different. They you have a head because maybe it's alive. We're talking about a situation where you're trading, let's say, horse meat.
Steaks.
That type of things. You don't have it so much. It's not so common here in the United States. But if you go to these places like Japan and China, they go, let's say, or even let's say you want to open up a place where you're going to sell fish. You're going to sell lobsters and crabs and all these Sachen, right? You can't do it.
Kosher and non-kosher stores.
What?
There are people that own non-kosher stores.
Okay, so you got to they have to speak to their local rabbi. And now he adds an extra caveat over here. Hatana noikit sodei chaya oifes mishum shledai dehet ze nemeraklet sayodim hamispransim b'tzeidem. This head that we allow you to sell is only those that are what you call those that do the hunting. Because at the end of the day, this is how there are some of us who hold this, that the government went and placed a tax on those that you want to go ahead and get a license to be a hunter or to catch fish. You got to pay the piper to get the license. To pay the taxes. Let's say you went out on a fishing trip. You rented a boat, recreational purposes, and you decided to go fishing in Nantasket, right? So over there, you just rent the boat for that by the hour,
And no one's going to charge you for it. The Rav, the Rash, and many Rishonim, according to Yerushalmi, hold that you can't go ahead and sell it. You don't have this heter. It was only because of extraordinary circumstances that we allowed it. Even though the Rambam disagrees and holds shemikimen shetiru chacham limka b'shiyeish mas. Once we already gave that loophole to people who have to pay the taxes, and they need to have a figure a way to do it. Nisha hehete gam bizman shamachas ein matil mas, or you do it for recreational purposes. But itiru l'tzayodim limka b'chol mokim u'b'chol zman. And we allow you to do it. Now, we have over here machlokes between the Rambam and the Rishonim, whether it's only for those that have to pay for the license or for the taxes to be a hunter or to be a fisherman, however others don't, or it's across, once he gave the heter, it's across the board. So we asked the question. It's a very, very good question here. Ulam kasha, it's difficult. Since the heter is only when the item that's non-kosher was in your net, why is that any different than if the animal dies? If we say the animal dies, we say you have the heter. So over here also, it was quote unquote an act of God. Just like when the animal dies, the Torah says, or if not, give it to a guy. So he says over here, over here, they didn't give you the cross-the-board heter. Because if an animal dies, you didn't kill the animal. You don't want to kill the animal, right?
It's valuable.
It's valuable.
Yeah.
So therefore, you're gonna go ahead. You can't say that it was a konkel over here that you created a situation and said afterwards, "Oh, it died." You're not gonna kill it by catching fish. You're gonna go ahead and go out for the lobster and for the crabs and for the oysters. And afterwards say, "Oh, I didn't want to do it. It was a happenstance." Therefore, therefore we prohibited. We realized it's going to be problematic. And only for those that capture it professionally and have the mas. To pay the taxes. That's the distinction between a behemoth that dies and catching it and capturing it and having a dog with tummy. Continue mentioning tomorrow. Now I'm going to catch the brothers out of Israel. The fika, here will occur mitzvah shenema. Ador yechofetz imatzit goy. Do. Milo. Chofetz. Hagel Torah yadir.
What's the kumkum?
How do you say kumkum?